Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. My name is Minnie and thank you so much for tagging along with us today. Really quickly, before we get into the content of today's video, if you could leave a like, a comment, a subscription, or even just watch the video all the way through, that would be much appreciated. We are on the path to our first 1,000 subscribers, and any engagements help us in the views and help us get more subscribers. So if you could do your part in helping grow this small channel, that would be much appreciated. Also, shout out to everybody that has left a like and a comment so far, or just watched the videos. You are doing tremendous help in growing this channel, and I appreciate your support. But with that being said, this video is not about growing your YouTube channel. It is about Battlefield 6 and the maps in particular. So if you read the title of this video, which I'm sure all of you have if you're clicking on it, you would know that we're going to be talking about maps like Operation Metro, Operation Locker, and why there is sort of not that presence of a meat locker XP grinder type map in Battlefield 6. Now, I understand from the developer's perspective, they were trying to shorten the distance in between player interactions by, creating these smaller close quarters maps, by having, infantry and gadget designs and weapon designs that complement that sort of tight play style that they don't want players running across a map for 3 minutes straight just to get gunned down by a sniper who is 150 meters away. Completely understood on that front. But the fact that with the Battlefield 6 map rotation that there is not that sort of, maybe public transportation or prison style map design that maybe is an homage to previous Battlefield maps is pretty surprising to me, and kind of also excites me for what the future of these Battlefield 6 seasons and potential DLC content are. So we're seeing with Season 1 right now sort of these more larger, expansive maps like Blackwell Fields and Eastwood in California, which I think are a very productive use of that geographical location on the map. But when you think about the initial maps, specifically the fact that there are two maps that cover New York City, such as Empire State and Manhattan Bridge, it is pretty surprising to me that there isn't a public transportation, subway focused map in New York City, or maybe even like a New York City penitentiary focused map that sort of promotes that close quarter style gameplay, because you have the inspiration right there in front of you with the city and with all of the potential there. It is also very interesting that they did two maps in New York City to begin with, just because they look so similar and they're kind of twins of each other with potentially different spots that you can use creatively for different game modes outside of Conquest and Escalation. So like Rush, Squad Deathmatch, Domination, King of the Hill, things of that nature, right? You can use those smaller, more specific areas of the map to have those more close quarters style, less vehicle focused game modes. But within the map rotation, you do have some pretty interesting locations that I think could be potential destinations for a close quarter style map. Now, they do have Siege of Cairo located in Egypt and sort of that more, desert focused area. I wonder if there is potential design for a map that could have the pyramids of Giza involved. I don't know if there is a licensing, restriction there when it comes to that. But if they were thinking about expanding potentially the Battlefield horizons outside to uncharted territories in terms of geographic locations, I do think a close quarters map in Egypt would be a pretty good destination for that as well. But it's very interesting to see how they could get creative with this. I also think that there might be room for, instead of just introducing a new map to the franchise, bringing back potentially Operation Locker or Metro as DLC content. Now, we saw this in previous Battlefields, specifically with Battlefield 4, which had those Battlefield 3 maps. They brought back Caspian Border, Operation Firestorm, which is also in Battlefield 6, and Operation Metro, and I believe I'm forgetting another one that was on that list. But those three made a resurgence in terms of DLC content in Battlefield 4, and I'm wondering if they're going to be doing that in a future season of the game as well. Operation Firestorm was also a very interesting pick because there are plenty of other Battlefield maps that are considered fan favorites and have been rebooted multiple times as well, particularly Operation Metro. But again, I do think that there is a plan in place from DICE and from the developers of Battlefield 6 to take advantage of the game's storied history and the game's beautiful map designs in previous games. Lastly, the only other way I could see the developers achieving an Operation Locker or an Operation Metro in Battlefield 6 without rebooting the games or just creating a new map from scratch would be them modifying the maps they already have in the game. For instance, in Season 1 right now, they're about to come out with a new version of the Manhattan Bridge map, which is going to be covered in snow and have this more festive Christmas type look to it, which is a pretty neat way to utilize the maps that they already have in the game. And we saw something similar in Battlefield 4 where they made nighttime versions of some of the fan favorite maps that were in the game. I think that that could be a creative way to achieve this, but not every map is going to be accommodating to that, right? You wouldn't be able to do Operation Metro or Locker style gameplay on a Liberation Peak or a Marak Valley or a handful of the other ones, but I do think that there might be some room, as we mentioned, with the New York maps doing a subway version of Manhattan Bridge or Empire State. But this leads me to the point in the video where I would love to get your opinion. Do you think that we should bring back Operation Metro and Locker in a reboot type fashion? Or do you think we should focus on adding new maps to the franchise? Or do you think we should focus on something completely different entirely, like adding naval warfare into the game? Please let me know in the comments your thoughts and opinions, and there's a very good chance that I'll make a video on it in the future. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you made it to this point at the end of the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. That would really help out the channel. As always, I appreciate you and have a wonderful day. Take care.